Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sunday edition of One Inclusion Live. Weekend, again. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the weekend edition of One Inclusion Live. Today is Sunday, June 14, 2020. I am Carlos Miguel Kanahashi. And this afternoon, I would like to share with you guys our topic for today is about news from the 2010 era, 2018. So for me, as 2018 for me as the best year or the worst year ever, as you may know. So for me, 2018 is considered as the best, but least the worst in just a bit because of a lot of events happening. Di ba, on a lot of things happened in 2018 here in the Philippines. Some are the best, some are the worst. Okay? Okay, so it's afternoon. Okay. So before we do with this, let's have our breaking news for today. As of 4 p.m. today, the Philippines already confirmed 25,930 confirmed cases of COVID-19 into the country. So the breakdowns are 366 for fresh, 173 for late, 248 for recovered, with a total of 5,954 and 1,088 deaths. Okay, because as you may know, tomorrow, President Duterte will be addressing the nation regarding the on the fate of the community quarantines here in Metro Manila. Okay, so anyway, let's now start. Let's start now from the first quarter of 2018, January to March. So, in January, what happened? Duterte calls Rappler a fake news outlet. So, Rodrigo Duterte, the President of the Philippines, referred to Rappler as a fake news outlet as he ranted about a recent article published on the site about his aid. According to this article from Rappler, they talked about Bongo. At the time, he was the special assistant to the president. This comes a day after the news broke that the Securities and Exchange Commission revoked Rappler's incorporation papers, effectively ordering it to shut down. Why? This is because Rappler owned by Maria Risa. She's already involved in the age and the management of Rappler were also involved in the creation of fake news. That's why they decided not to use Rappler as our source. Sometimes we use Rappler as a source of real news. That's why we need to have reputable news agencies that should not be considered as fake news. Okay. The Mayon volcano eruption. The Mayon volcano's alert status is raised to alert level 4 due to the intensified volcanic activities. The day before, the volcano shot 200 meters to 500 meters to the air and generated ash plumes that reached 1.3 kilometers above the summit. Albay was declared a state of calamity on January 16, 2018 due to the continuous volcanic activity. So, the train law took effect on January 1, 2018. This is commonly called as Republic Act number 10963. So the goals are to lower the personal income tax, simplifying the estate and donors tax, expanding the value-added tax base, increasing the excise tax of petroleum products, increasing the excise tax of automobiles or cars, and they introduced the increase of the tax of sugar-sweetened beverages like soft drinks, like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, all the iced teas, and of course, the teas and other things, okay? So how is this done computed, ladies and gentlemen? If your monthly salary is below 20,833, then you're exempted from your personal income tax. If your salary is 20,834 to 33,333 pesos, from 2018 to 2022, over 250,000 but not over 400,000 annually. From 2018 to 2022, you will only get 20% of the excess over 250,000. If it's 2023, 15% of the excess over 250,000. You see the difference? 20%, it will go to 15% in 2023. If your salary is 33,334 to 66,666 or over 400K but not over 800K annually, from 2018 to 2022, 30,000 plus the 25% of the excess over 400,000. If it's 2023 onwards, then you get 25,000 plus the 20% of the excess over 400,000. If your monthly salary is 66,667 to 166,666 over 800,000 but not over 2 million pesos annually, then from 2018 to 2022, 130,000 plus 30% of the excess over 800,000. The 2023 onwards, the 102,000 plus the 25% of the excess over 800,000. If your salary is 166,667 to 666,666 pesos or over 2 million but not over 8 million annually, from 2018 to 2022, the 490,000 plus the 32% of the excess over 2 million. For 2023 onwards, 402,500 plus 30% of the excess over 2 million. If your salary is 666,667 and above, if you're over 8 million pesos on an annual basis, then from 2018 to 2022, 2,410,000 or 2.4 million plus 35% of the excess over 8 million. It's from 2023 onwards, 2,202,500 or 2.2 million plus 35% of the excess over 8 million. Okay? The reason why, and it was called as the Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion Act or TRAIN law, this is because of the increase of costs and other expenses and due to the increase of the foreign currency exchange rates. Okay? What does this mean, ladies and gentlemen? So, this tax law wants to improve productivity and this will also affect the nation's economy. How is this affecting our economy? If we pay tax, then we will have big ticket projects. If we pay taxes, we need the taxpayers' money for the private and the public sector. And if there is, we will contribute our country towards nation building or the development of the Philippines. The money in our possession will be used to pay taxes. So remember, register, file, and pay. or else you'll get into trouble. How? You'll be arrested and you will be violating the National Internal Revenue Code or the NIRC and also some rules from the BIR. BIR or the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Okay? The Philippine government signed the administrative order to completely ban the deployment of all workers to Kuwait. This was done in the wake of the February 9 confirmation of the death of a Filipina domestic worker in Kuwait due to abuse. Okay. That means all the Filipinos need to go back here to the Philippines to spend and thinking about where they can work instead. What country where you want to work instead of Kuwait. Okay. The Senate starts probe into Navy frigate deal. The Senate Committee on National Defense and Security started on Monday morning its probe on the 15.5 billion peso frigate acquisition project of the Philippine Navy with Special Assistant to the President Christopher Bongo in attendance with several cabinet members present to support him. Okay. Last February 2018, the MMDA released a traffic rerouting plan for the rehabilitation of Sevilla Bridge. According to Jojo Garcia, MMDA Assistant General Manager for Planning, says the partial closure of the bridge, which connects Shaw Boulevard, Mandaluyong City, and Padre Sanchez Street in the city of Manila, that was used to make way for the Skyway Stage 3 elevated expressway that will be the connector of NLEX and SLEX. Okay? They have been already coordinated with the city governments of Mandaluyong, San Juan, Manila, Makati, Quezon City, and Caloocan to mitigate the expected traffic congestion that the reconstruction project would cause. Okay? For Sevilla Bridge, alternate routes. For eastbound traffic, from Magsaysay Boulevard, turn right to Old Santa Mesa or Valenzuela Street, then right to Cordillera, left to Lubiran, traversing to Boni Avenue, going to Maysilo, roundabout, and exit to F. Martinez Avenue, then right to Shaw Boulevard, going to your destination. From Magsaysay Boulevard, turn right to V. Mapa, then right to Old Santa Mesa, then left to Reposo Street, left to Valenzuela, turn right to V. Mapa, right to Bagumbayan Street, then left to Lubiran, left to Calentong, then right to Shaw Boulevard, going to your destination. For westbound traffic, from Shaw Boulevard, turn right to F. Blumentritt Street, then left to F. Manalo Street, then right to Old Santa Mesa, then left to Araneta Avenue, going to destination. From Shaw Boulevard, turn right to Goversville, Hoover, and Hague, then turn right to F. Blumentritt Street, left to Old Santa Mesa, then right to V. Mapa, then left to Aurora Boulevard, going to destination. From Shaw Boulevard, turn right to F. Blumentritt Street, to N. Domingo to destination. 7 months later, aside from the Sevilla Bridge, the old Santa Mesa Bridge, connecting the border of San Juan and Manila, was closed to traffic last September 17. It was pushed through after it was postponed due to Typhoon Ompong. Okay? MMDA Task Force Operations Head Bong Nebrija said that the bridge will be demolished so that the barges carrying the equipment for the Skyway Stage 3 elevated expressway can pass through the waterway, and it will thus be closed for 7 months. According to the MMDA, 8,000 motorists are using the old Santa Mesa Bridge daily. So the alternate routes are F. Manalo, G. Araneta, Aurora Boulevard, Nibiran, Boni Avenue, and F. Blumentritt Avenue. This was due to the Skyway Stage 3 Elevated Expressway project. Okay. For March. On March 1, President Duterte signs Republic Act number 10973 that restored the power of select officials of the Philippine National Police to issue subpoenas on cases under investigation. On March 8, the House Committee of Justice finds probable cause in the impeachment complaint against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. The DOJ indexed 11 members of the Aegis Juris Fraternity over the fatal hazing of the University of Santo Tomas freshman student Acho Castillo in September 2017. Former Vice President Jojomar Binay Sr., his son Junjun Binay have been charged for the alleged anomalous procurement process in the construction of the Makati Science Building. On March 12, the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee orders the release of former Customs Commissioner Nicanor Faildon after he promised to Dick Gordon that he will no longer engage in backtalking and will heed Senate summons. The DOJ cleared alleged drug lords Kerwin Espinosa, Peter Lim, and 20 others of charges related to the narcotics trade due to lack of evidence. On March 14, President Rodrigo Duterte announced that the Philippines is withdrawing from the International Criminal Court, which is currently looking either whether it has jurisdiction to probe allegations of state-sanctioned killings in his war on drugs. The Philippines issued a formal notification of its withdrawal from the Roman Statute, which was received by the Secretary-General of the United Nations on March 17. On March 17, a Piper PA-23 passenger aircraft bound for Lawag crashes upon takeoff from Plaridel Airport in Bulacan, killing 5 people on board as well as 5 on the ground. On March 26, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas announced the release of the new generation coin series and presented their new design. Okay, I have one, but I'm going to spend it anytime soon. Okay. This right. Okay. For the second quarter of 2018, April to June, Boracay closes to tourists for 6 months and undergoes its rehabilitation. The closure was announced on April 4. Checkpoints were stopped by police officers and soldiers would set up at piers in Boracay to get rid of visitors on the island. Passes will only be given to Boracay residents. That's why Duterte declared Boracay as a cesspool. That's why the president's decision is to close Boracay to tourists and then instead they have to visit the must-see places in Western Visayas, such as Sicogon Island and Iloilo. There's more Sicogon. They might use that as their alternate for Boracay. Sicogon. If you want to go to Sicogon from Manila, you have to fly from Manila to Iloilo first, and then you take just an hour ride to Sicogon Island from Iloilo City. If you want to go there. The Department of Tourism receives their 60 million peso art placement to PTV4 for airing it on Ben Tulfo's program Kilos Pronto, produced by Bitag Media Unlimited Incorporated. The contract was not supported with the proper documents, not just the Memorandum of Agreement and Certificate of Performance. Wanda Tio said that Ben Tulfo, together with his brother Erwin, will return the 60 million advertisement from DOT to prove that there was no anomaly in the advertisement deal. There was no conflict in the deal because it was a government deal between PTV4 and Wanda Tio's government agency, the Department of Tourism. Because of that, as a consequence, Wanda Tio later resigned on May 8th because of the controversy, and she was replaced by Bernadette Romulo Puyat, the current Secretary of Tourism. Let us watch some of the footages of the Senate hearing regarding the 60 million peso placement ads of DOT and PTV4. Okay, try to watch this.
Secretary Wanda.
I'll find another video. Try to watch this.
Ito, lalabas ito, anak. Ayan, ayan. Ganda, oh. Saan yan?
Meron po nakalagay Enchanted Kingdom hinatuan.
Nakikita ko, ano, ubi ba yan? Ubi. Ayan. Ang sasabihin niya, ito, lalabas ito, anak. Ayan, ayan. Ganda, oh. Saan yan?
Meron po nakalagay Enchanted Kingdom hinatuan.
Nakikita ko, ano, ubi ba yan? Ubi. Ayan. Ang sasabihin niya, umayos siya ng ubi, binigyan. Ha? And then he leaves and then he says, what does anak mean?
The truth.
I mean, domestic tourism yan. Kung mag-advertise tayo, I would say, bakasyon na. Magpa-reserve na kayo dito sa El Nido. We did that before, no? Magpa-reserve na kayo dito sa Boracay, sa Siargao. You go to the airport, ang lalaki ng TV ad doon. Pinalalagyan ko palagi yun na, ano ba yung magandang lugar na yan? Dapat ilagay yan. Alam mo yan. This is how to get there. I would even get PAL or Cebu Pacific or anybody to advertise na meron kayong special promotion sa kanila para pumunta doon sa domestic na destination. Hindi ko maintindihan bakit ito gagamitin nyo at dalawang bayan lang ang advertise nyo, hindi pa malinaw kung ano yun.
Meron po nakalagay hinatuan in Surigao. Bohol and other destinations po like Palawan, Cebu, Bohol, Palawan. These are the destinations na kilala na po. So we'd like to focus on other destinations na hindi pa po kilala hinatuan. This is shared Surigao. Nung in-advertise
Ay, si hinatuan there.
meron po, Enchanted Kingdom.
Ha?
Yung nakalagay po yung river, Enchanted River po, hinatuan.
Ano sinabi niya? Enchanted Kingdom hinatuan? Ano yan? Okay. I have one more video to show you guys.
Secretary Wanda, Ben Tulfo is your brother. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you entered into an agreement with PTNI pursuant to a letter given by Secretary Andrade,
Yes, Your Honor.
offering the services to bibigay sila, you offered like TV time ng PTV4, which is a government channel.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you bother to find out whether having a contract with your brother is legal?
I didn't know that Kilos Tonto is of Ben Tulfo. All I know is his data.
Sorry?
Hindi ko po alam na si Ben Tulfo ay Kilos Tonto. All I know of Ben Tulfo is data.
Hindi niyo alam na may programa yung kapatid niyo na Kilos Ponton.
Hindi po. Hindi po kasi ako wala po akong time manood ng mga...
Alam niyo yung bitag, pero hindi niyo alam yung Kilos Ponton.
Hindi ko po alam ang Kilos Tonto.
Yung bitag alam niyo.
Dita po alam ko.
Okay.
But in the contract, it says Kilos Tonto. Kaya hindi ko po alam na bitag po yun.
Because lumalabas dyan, there are 3 documents that show that you signed documents knowing that Kilos Ponto was there. In fact, nandito pa kami because lumalabas na hindi pa tapos na parang nag-usap kayo, tinanong kita dyan kanina, at nagpirmahan kayo April. Pero March 15, meron na kayong parang agreement yung sinasabi doon, gagamitin yung pera para sa kilos pronto.
My contract was between PTB4 and DOT. Yun lang po ang kontrata po. Beyond that, I do not know kung saan po ilalagay ni PTB4 yung mga ads namin.
So, ang may kasalanan, PTB4, ano ba?
Yun po. Because
you don't feel at any time na kapatid ko yan, bakit kayo nagbigay ng kontrata sa kapatid ko? Bawal sa batas yan.
They could have told me, but hindi ko po alam. From the very start, hindi ko po alam. Have I known it, I would not have signed the contract.
And let me just say this. Kahit na ganun yan, please allow me to be firm and fair. The Constitution prohibits conflicts of interest. They shall not, during said tenure, directly or indirectly, with respect to the President, Vice President, members of the Cabinet, and their deputies, practice any other profession, participate, or be financially interested in any contract with the government. They shall strictly avoid conflicts of interest in the conduct of their office. And every Filipino must know the Constitution.
Yes.
We have a say in law, ignoratio lege non excusa. Ignorance of the law does not excuse anyone. I just want to tell you that because you're on the road and that is your defense, hindi mo alam.
Dumaan po sa proseso. It went to the process, dito ng back, then the back of a check, dumaan po sa lawyers. So I trust all my people because I know they're competent.
It's in therefore that they're incompetent now.
I don't know. Kasi,
Ano ba, incompetent sila?
kasi po hindi ko po alam. From the very start, if I knew it, I would not have signed the contract. I would not
All right, I just wanted to point that out to you na gano'n yun. All right, na may conflict of interest.
Yeah.
The process was not strictly followed in accordance to the Constitution.
Ito guys, yung TV commercial ng PTV4. Try mo pa panoorin. Ito guys.
Fish are eating. So should you, anak.
Thank you.
You're welcome, anak.
What does anak mean? It means my child.
Okay. Right? Because of these controversial ads, let's look at the footage of a rally. It's more corrupt in the Philippines. The parody of It's More Fun in the Philippines. I'm gonna for a Twitter video. Look at guys.
Corrupt in the Philippines.
I will show this to you guys.
Corrupt in the Philippines. It's more corrupt in the Philippines. It's more corrupt in the Philippines. Corrupt in the Philippines. It's more corrupt in the
It's more corrupt in the Philippines. Teo, resign. And here, guys, the picture of the rally against Wanda Teo, the Secretary of Department of Tourism. Look at this, guys. Minagic ni Tulfo Teo ang kontrata ng DOT. It's more corrupt in the Philippines. That's why sinabi, Enchanted Kingdom hinatuan po. Ano yun? Enchanted River yan eh. You see? Okay. The Supreme Court of the Philippines removed Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno and later was replaced by Teresita Tessie De Castro as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. She violated the requirements on the statements of assets, liabilities, and net worth. Excuse me. For July to September, the controversial Tanawan Mayor Antonio Alili was shot to death during a flag raising ceremony and becomes the 11th local government official to be killed in the Philippine drug war. This mayor is noted for public humiliation campaigns against criminals and drug pushers. I want you to watch this video, but viewer discretion is advised. Wait. Sorry, I cannot show you. It's very violent, by the way. This one. Duterte signs law that bans hazing in all forms. RA 11053, or ladies and gentlemen, is also known as the Anti-Hazing Act of 2018. This was done in the wake of the death of Horacio Castillo III, a law freshman of the University of Santo Tomas, wherein he joined Aegis Juris Fraternity. And it has higher penalties. What's the penalty for the violation of this law? Okay, as we're checking here, the penalty of reclusion perpetua and a fine of 3 million pesos shall be imposed for those persons, guys, who plan or participate in the hazing. That's the penalty. And there's another 2 million pesos and reclusion perpetua, reclusion temporal and 1 million peso fine, and prison correctional and a fine of 1 million pesos. Okay? And because of this, the DepEd, CHED, DOJ, DILG, DSWD, PNP, AFP, and the National Youth Commission should promulgate this law and should be complied to all. Okay? Yes, the Philippines-Australia basket brawl. The bench clearing ball between the Australia and Philippines men's national team basketball teams take place during the 2019 FIBA Basketball World Cup 2019 Asian qualifiers at the Philippine Arena in Bocaue, Bulacan. Because of the involvement, let's watch the Samam. Yung mga FIBA penalties at yung sanctions. Naghanap ako ng video.
It's a sad day for Philippine basketball, but you know what they say, that if you can dish it, you gotta be prepared to take it. FIBA has sanctioned the members of the Gilas Pilipinas team, and Kasamang Basketball ng Pilipinas says they're in the process of reviewing the order. We have Carlo Pamintuan with the full details.
The Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas on Thursday, July 19, accepts the decision of FIBA. In a 13-page report, 10 Gilas players and 2 coaches were suspended over the Philippines-Australia brawl in a World Cup qualifier on July 2 at the Philippine Arena. Calvin Abueva received the heaviest suspension with 6 games. Ordered suspended also were players Japet Aguilar and Matthew Wright for 1 game. Terence Romeo, Jason Castro, Troy Rosario, and Andre Blatch for 3 games. And Roger Pugoy, Carl Brian Cruz, and Gio Halalon for 5 games. Assistant coach Jong Wichiko was also suspended for 3 games, while coach Chot Reyes was suspended for 1 game. In a press con, SBP President Al Panlilio said FIBA was quite fair in its decision, but that they're still in the process of reviewing it.
SBP accepts the disciplinary panel's decision and extends its appreciation to the panel for its work. The decision is a lengthy document. The SBP is in the process of carefully reviewing it.
Panlilio added that they will try to clarify with FIBA about the parameters of their closed-door home game against Qatar on September. Based on their understanding, the game will be broadcast, but there will be no audience inside the arena. And that will definitely be sad news for Filipino basketball fans.
Siyempre, masakit na, of course, the people would want to watch live. The fans have always been our 6th man, diba? Helping us in all this competition. It's painful.
Panlilio added that they will also ask FIBA about the disciplinary fines given to SBP.
But that's part of the clarification. That's part of the clarification. But heavy on the SBP. I mean, honestly, heavy on the SBP. And the way it was drafted, no? The breakdown of the 250, 150 really was because was due to, because the SBP at the end of the day is the federation, no? So it has purview or oversight on everything, no? So the 250 was broken down into 2 aspects. 150 was more on the behavior of the delegation, so the team, the coaches and the team. And the 100 was really more on the venue.
Panlilio is positive about the 2023 hosting of the Philippines for the Basketball World Cup, since it was not included in the report.
It's not mentioned, so that's good. I mean, when I say it could have been worse, those things it could have been affected. So I think it's very clear now that the focus of the sanctions are all on FIBA Basketball World Cup 2019 Asian qualifier games.
Right now, the Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas is still in a process of choosing who will replace the 10 suspended players and 2 coaches. They also talked to the suspended players before the press con even started.
A bump on the road, but we want to move forward, make sure that we do better. And I was telling the players that they're the ones who will help us get back.
For PBA Rush, this is Carlo Pamintuan. We are One News.
Okay. Because of the involvement in the basketball, 4 Australian players and 9 Filipino players were suspended. Okay. The match was eventually abandoned in the 3rd quarter with Australia winning by default due to the lack of eligible Filipino players. Because of the involvement in the basketball, for the Philippines, Calvin Abueva suspended for 6 games. Giovanni Gio Halalon, Carl Brian Cruz, and Roger Ripogoy were suspended for 5 games. 3-game suspension for Troy Rosario, Terence Romeo, Jason Castro William, and Andre Blatz. And 1-game suspension for Matthew Wright and Japet Aguilar. Coach Vincent Reyes was suspended for 1 game and fined 10,000 Swiss franc or 500,000 pesos. Jong Uy Chico, the assistant coach of Gilas Pilipinas, was suspended for 3 games. These players and 2 coaches were already suspended due to unsportsmanlike behavior. Samaang Basketball ng Pilipinas ordered to pay a disciplinary fine of 250,000 Swiss francs or 13 million pesos. They have to play behind closed doors or no one is inside the venue. This is due to unsportsmanlike behavior and the insufficient organization of the game. For Australia, Daniel Kickert is suspended for 5 games. Ton Maker is suspended for 3 games. And Chris Golding is suspended for 1 game. Because of this, for Australia, Basketball Australia should pay a disciplinary fine of 100,000 Swiss francs or 5 million pesos for the unsportsmanlike behavior and the tampering of FIBA-approved equipment. All in all, the total is to pay for FIBA is 360,000 Swiss francs or 18 million pesos. Wow, that's a quite expensive and a lot of money to pay to FIBA. The Pacquiao versus Matisse. Pacquiao versus Matisse, also known as the Fight of Champions. This was a boxing match that took place last July 15, 2018 at the Axiata Arena in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And the broadcasters, ABS-CBN, GMA, and TV5 were broadcasting the fight. Okay. And the sponsors are the GOOX and the official flight carrier Philippine Airlines or PAL. Xiamen Airlines Flight 8667 crashed at the NAIA, skidding off the runway while attempt to land in the airport. 157 passengers and 8 crew members were evacuated. Because of this, flights in Manila Airport were delayed or were diverted to various airports due to the incident. Some were diverted to Clark, some were diverted to Cebu, some will be diverted to Davao, some will be diverted outside the Philippines like Guam, Hong Kong, Haneda, Narita, and also Incheon and Utapao. Okay. On September 20, 2018, a landslide caused by heavy rainfall by inquiring operations by Apolan Inquiry Corporations in Naga, Cebu. 78 people died. 5 others are missing. The Trillanes Amnesty. On August 21, 2018, Duterte revoked Trillanes Amnesty. Duterte ordered the DOJ and the AFP to review the criminal cases in connection to the 2003 Oakwood Mutiny and the 2007 Peninsula Siege, the ones that were involved by Antonio Trillanes. Ompong. This is a very extreme, powerful typhoon that caused damage in Guam, Philippines, and southern China like Hong Kong, Macau, and Guangdong province in China. It killed a lot of people. It causes $3.77 billion in damage. 134 fatalities, 127 in the Philippines, 6 in mainland China, and 1 in Taiwan. Oh, this is very unpatriotic. 34 moviegoers were arrested for not standing up to sing Lupang Hinirang inside the cinema. 34 moviegoers were arrested for not standing up for the Philippine National Anthem in Lemery, Batangas. Let us watch the actual footage of the moment they didn't stand up. Try to watch this. As you can see there, they didn't stand up. How come they do this? Look at this. According to this, we have to implement the Oplan Bandila because they said, according to the Lemery Police or PNP Region 4A, they said, our flag is the most important national symbol as a nation. Our independence was been brought back by the sweat and blood of the ultimate sacrifices of our national heroes 120, at the time it's 120 years ago. Yan ang importante kasi yan ang simbolo ng ating kasarilan. 34, okay, this is a very trend that I reported last Friday, guys. Senator Tito Soto proposed a revision of the lyrics of the Philippine National Anthem. He said, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo was declared as defeatist. He's a composer. He wants to replace it with, ang ipaglaban ang kalayaan mo. Okay, let's watch this.
Ligaya na pag may mga apit ang ipaglaban, kalayaan mo. Ano ba nakakarinig din sa mga sinasabi ng nakakaintindi rin ng kultura at sa kapaggawa ng mga awitin. So parang defeatist yung last line sapagkat imbis na lumaban, mamatay.
Tama ka dyan. Senator Soto. Let's look at the reaction of Dick Gordon. Try to watch this. Yung reaction ni Dick Gordon, kaugnay sa hindi, wag baguhin ang national anthem.
I thought that was rather unfair. And I thought that was good. Why? Nag-isip tayo Pinag-usapan natin ang kasaysayan ng bansa natin. Kung tama yung ginagawa natin. We all take a lot of things for granted. Diba? Yung flag, ilang beses pinalitan ng flag ng Amerikano, flag ng Venezuela, pinalitan. Yung kanta ng Amerikano, ilang beses pinalitan niya. At kung susuriin niya yung kanta natin, 3 beses lang din sabi, duyan ka na magiting, ang mamatay ng dahil sa iyo, at sa madudubig din ka masisihin. America, they talk about bravery. I don't want to legislate a change in the national anthem just to change it, but I'm glad that we're talking about it. But we don't have to blame anybody. Otherwise, if you have an opinion, I will respect it. Okay, pag-usapan natin. Matututo pa siguro tayo.
Okay. So what have we learned from this issue is that changing any context of lupang hinirang is unacceptable, for it has a big part in our history. It tells how the Philippines arose up to power after contested by many countries. Also reflect how Filipinos love their country and sacrifices they can do just to preserve it from conqueror. The last part of the song isn't about defeatists, but it's more likely about patriotism, which tells that not anyone is going to be like Jose Rizal or Andres Bonifacio, heroes who sacrificed their lives to achieve emancipation for our nation. According to Jose Victor Torres, the professor of history of the LaSalle University, Manila, he said, "It is wrong and insulting, especially for our military, to sing the national anthem every day and are really just to protect and preserve the dignity of our country. It is not defeatist. As Filipinos, we're also against in changing the last part of Lupang Hinirang. This song has become part of our lives, for we sing it almost every day in school. This song always motivates us to study hard and made us to realize how grateful we are for having freedom, and that's because of sacrifices done by our national heroes. Every letter of the song brings impacts into the heart of Filipinos, and as we will change a part of it, we will find it hard to adjust. Let's now go on to the last quarter of 2018, which is the fourth quarter. Imelda Marcos was guilty of 7 counts of graft, and Court Sandigan Bayan ordered her arrest. The anti-graft court Sandigan Bayan convicted Imelda Marcos of 7 counts of graft related to private organizations in Switzerland when she was a government official in 1968 until 1986 when Ferdinand Marcos stepped down as the president of the Philippines as we awaited for the return to democracy. Last November 2018, Chinese President Xi Jinping went to the Philippines for a 2-day state visit that was expected to include the signing of a controversial framework for the joint exploration of the South China Sea. And that's why on November 20, the Manila City government ordered the suspension of classes in the city to alleviate traffic congestion in the city of Manila because of that visit. Bong Revilla acquitted of plunder. Bong Revilla was not guilty of plunder in connection to the PDAF scam. Sandigan Bayan, however, found Janet Lapoles and Richard Cambe guilty, sentenced them to reclusion perpetua or life imprisonment. The Balangiga Bells Homecoming. After 117 years of U.S. possession, the Balangiga Bells returned to the Philippines and it was arrived at the Villamor Air Base in Pasay City. And this one, buti nga, aside from the hindi success ang basketball ng Philippines at Australia, kundi nakabawi na tayo sa Miss Universe nung panahon na yan, na kung saan panalo na si Catriona Gray sa Bangkok, Thailand. Panoorin mo to guys, ang moment na nagpanalo na si Catriona.
This universe is
Yes!
Yes!
Di ba? Panalo na si Catriona yun. Nung panahon niyon. Kita-kita yung pambato natin at migsang trending pa eh. Okay? The 2018 death. Mario de los Reyes. Napoleon Abueva. Rolly Quezon. Rolio Gonzalez. Carmen Guerrero Nakpil. Ed Angara. Pitoy Moreno. Spanky Manikan. Rico J. Puno. At Tony Bourdain. Aretha Franklin. George H. W. Bush. Barbara Bush. Stan Lee. Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hillenburg, and Avicii. May the Lord have mercy to these people, the 2018 deaths, and may all the souls of them rest in peace. I would like to share with you for this reflection. I will read. Jesus here reveals the hospitality of God. Everyone is invited to the divine banquet. What matters is for each of us to foster our relationship with Jesus. Eating his flesh and drinking his blood is not an invitation to cannibalism, as the Jews feared. Instead, in the Eucharist, the bread and wine are given a new and awesomely deep meaning. They become the very person of Jesus. In the Eucharist, we deepen our relationship with Jesus, not mechanically, but by becoming more and more like him over the years. We meet God in this mysterious and dramatic way. God gives himself to us, and we try to shape our lives into a loving gift for God. In heaven, there will be no Eucharist as we know it, because our bonding with God will then be complete. This is one of the most amazing passages in all of the Scripture. For the Hebrews, flesh and blood meant the full person. So Jesus chooses this dramatic way to reveal the extraordinary intimacy of his relationship with us. Bread nourishes us. So Jesus uses that term to describe himself. But living bread is an effort to reveal more deeply how profoundly he nourishes us. He offers us a relationship in which we can abide in security. We need that life-giving relationship more than ever today. Eat, live, and abide are all words that belong to the whole. Jesus invites me to bring anything in my life that is unsettled or out of place, that it may find its home in him. And guys, today is Corpus Christi Sunday. Why? The reason why it was called Corpus Christi Sunday this year. This is because the Corpus Christi Sunday is a Catholic solemnity celebrating the real presence of the body and blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ in the elements of the Eucharist. It is considered as a public holiday here in the Philippines. Let's listen to this homily of Father Cali Petir Lamado, Vice Rector of the Manila Cathedral, yung pinanood ko kanina sa TV via 1PH. Ano?
Action of Christ. And the bread that I will give is. Good morning, my dear brothers and sisters, and we thank everyone for joining us in this online celebration of the Holy Eucharist. Our celebration today, Corpus Christi Sunday, the solemnity of the most holy body and blood of Christ. Nagpapasalamat po kami sa inyong pagsama dito sa pagdiriwang natin ng banal na Eucharistia. Siguro po ay marami sa inyo ay kakakain lamang ng almusal bago ang misa na ito, o kaya nagmimisa muna, nagsisimba muna, at pagkatapos nito ay mag-aalmusal na kayo. No? Ako po hindi pa nag-aalmusal. No? At sa ating pagdiriwang ngayon, ay siguro tamang-tama na ngayong umaga na ito ay ang pagdiriwang natin ay tungkol sa pagkain. Tungkol sa Diyos na nagbibigay ng pagkain sa atin. Ang tinapay ng buhay, ang pagkaing nagbibigay buhay. Kaya habang nagugutom na tayo at naghihintay ng ating almusal, habang nagsisimba ay maganda na sa umagang ito, ang unang-una nating pagkain ay ang Eucharistia at ang salita ng Diyos. And my dear brothers and sisters, as we contemplate, reflect on the mystery of the body and blood of Christ as food and drink given by Jesus for us to have eternal life, it is very important today to reflect on the action of Jesus, the action of God in feeding us. The central mystery of our celebration today is God's action of feeding.
Diba? Yan ang sinabi ni Father Kali, Peter Lamado. Ang sabi niya, feeding, or lalo na sa example sa Middle East, dahil stranded sila, nagbibigay sila ng pagkain at inumin. Lalo na sa mga refugees na wala ng trabaho, wala ng kabuhayan, lalo na ngayong taon dahil sa pandaigdigang krisis na tinawag nating COVID-19 na pandemya. Dapat magbigay kahit anong pagkain. Mag-offer kayo ng pagkain. Diba? Yan yung essence. I will share you this one. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you? From John 14, verse 2. Today, we also celebrate the birth of Saint Benilde Romanson. Saint Benilde Pierre Romanson was born to a poor peasant family in Auvergne, France. He loved teaching children and spent 40 years in the classroom. He felt a strong desire to be a Lasallian brother and assumed the name Benilde when he became a follower of Saint John Baptist de La Salle. In acknowledging his achievements, Pope Pius XI said, "Sanctity does not consist in doing extraordinary things, but in doing ordinary things extraordinarily well." In October 27, 1967, he was declared a saint. Saint Benilde's deep faith and zeal encouraged many young men to the priesthood and religious life, for he became known as the patron saint of vocations. And now we're running out of time. Thank you for joining us for the One Inclusion Live Weekend Edition for Sunday, June 14, 2020. I will see you again next Saturday and Sunday as Danmar Dayaw will take over for the One Inclusion Live Monday to Friday edition at 5 to 6 p.m. On behalf of the people of Ka-Inclusion Network, HNI Philippines, this is Carlos Kanahashi. Thank you very much. May God bless us all. Pagpalain po ng buong may kapal. Let's remember, one inclusion forever. HNI, God first. Later at 7 p.m., Royland will have his gaming segment live on YouTube Radio. So stay tuned. Thank you very much and peace out. And enjoy the rest of the day and have a productive week ahead.